Most men think they're strong until life tests them. They talk about confidence, control, and power, but the truth is, only 1% of men ever master these 8 traits. The ones who do move differently. You can feel it when they walk in the room, calm, detached, and untouchable. They talk about confidence, power, control, but when pressure comes, they fold. They want to be leaders, but they follow the crowd. They say they're focused, but they chase everything that moves. But then there are the rare few, the ones who don't need attention to feel significant. The men who don't shout their worth, they simply embody it. They are calm, grounded, and impossible to read. They are what some call Sigma males, men who move through life with quiet intensity. You can't label them because they don't fit into categories. You can't control them because they've mastered control over themselves. They're not born with these traits, they build them. And only about 1% ever reach this level of inner mastery. So here are the 8 powerful traits that separate that 1% from the rest. 8 things that make a man unshakable, not by pretending, but by becoming. 1. Brutal self-awareness. The average man avoids himself. He distracts himself from his weaknesses, lies to himself about his habits, and hides from his emotions. But the 1% don't. They look in the mirror with ruthless honesty. They analyze their patterns, their triggers, their reactions. They face the uncomfortable truth because they know self-awareness is the foundation of transformation. When you know who you truly are, both the light and the shadow, no one can use your weaknesses against you. Self-awareness gives you freedom because truth makes you unbreakable. You stop needing to perform. You stop pretending. You simply live in alignment with who you are, raw, real, and accountable. 2. Emotional control power isn't in how loud you can get, it's in how calm you can stay. When others argue, complain, and lose composure, the Sigma stands still. Not because he's numb, but because he's grounded. He feels everything, pain, anger, love, but he doesn't let emotions control his behavior. He channels emotion into action, not reaction. He's mastered the art of detachment, the ability to remain centered while chaos unfolds. People mistake that for coldness. It's not. It's strength. Because the man who can control his emotions can control his destiny. 3. Relentless discipline. The Sigma doesn't wait to feel motivated. He acts out of principle. He trains his body, his mind, his habits, even when nobody's watching. Discipline is the purest form of self-respect. It's the daily decision to do what's necessary, not what's comfortable. The world is full of men who start things. Few finish. The Sigma finishes. He understands that discipline compounds, that small wins build big victories. And every time he honors his word to himself, his confidence grows. He knows freedom is built on discipline, not indulgence. 4. Independence of thought. The average man borrows opinions from social media, trends, or crowds. But the Sigma thinks for himself. He questions everything, not out of arrogance, but from a hunger for truth. He can agree without conforming and disagree without hating. He's immune to social pressure because his validation comes from within. That independence is dangerous in a world addicted to approval. You can't manipulate a man who thinks freely. He's too grounded in his own values to be swayed by the noise. That's why people notice him, not because he's loud, but because he's real. 5. The power of silence. In a world that rewards noise, silence becomes power. The Sigma doesn't fill every space with words. He listens. He observes. He studies patterns others miss. While others rush to speak, he's already calculated the truth. His silence makes people uneasy, not because he's mysterious, but because he's present. And presence is magnetic. When he finally speaks, his words cut through the noise because they come from clarity, not ego. He knows that silence can expose more than words ever could. It's his weapon, subtle, quiet, and effective. 6. Purpose over pleasure. The Sigma doesn't chase comfort. He chases purpose. He knows that pleasure is temporary, but purpose is eternal. Most men waste years chasing women, status, and validation. He spends those years chasing mastery, meaning, and legacy. He understands that true satisfaction doesn't come from indulgence, but from growth. He's willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term power. Every day he asks, does this align with my mission? If the answer is no, he walks away. That's why he's different, because he's not driven by impulse. He's driven by intention. 7. Emotional minimalism. The Sigma guards his energy like treasure. He doesn't attach himself to drama, gossip, or emotional chaos. He's not cold, he's selective. He understands that who you let near your peace determines your power, so he keeps his circle small and his standards high. He values solitude because solitude sharpens him. He knows loneliness is a test, one that separates those who need noise from those who build peace. He's learned that the less he reacts, the more control he has, and in that stillness, clarity grows. 8. Quiet confidence. Confidence isn't shouting, it's silence in motion. It's walking into a room without needing to prove anything. It's the posture of a man who knows himself. The Sigma's confidence comes from competence, from thousands of unseen hours of discipline, pain, and repetition. He doesn't chase attention because attention chases him. He doesn't need validation because his actions validate him daily. He respects himself, and that self-respect demands that others do the same. Quiet confidence isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday and not needing anyone's permission to grow. The Sigma philosophy, Stoicism in motion. Underneath these 8 traits lies one timeless foundation, Stoicism, the art of mastering yourself before you try to master the world. The Sigma lives by the same principles taught by Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. Control what you can, detach from what you can't, stay calm in the storm. He doesn't let emotions dictate actions, and he doesn't depend on outcomes for peace. He lives in alignment with his values, not circumstances. When pain comes, he learns. When loss comes, he adapts. When success comes, he stays humble. He knows that peace isn't found in the world, it's found in perspective. Becoming the 1%. Every man can become part of that 1%, but few will. Because this path demands solitude, self-honesty, and sacrifice. You'll lose people who can't handle your growth. You'll outgrow environments that once felt comfortable. But what you gain in return, peace, focus, and purpose, is worth it. You'll stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. You'll stop needing attention and start commanding presence. The world doesn't need more men who look powerful. It needs more men who are powerful, quietly, consistently, humbly. You don't become that man by pretending. You become him by practice, every single day. So start with one thing. Control yourself, your mind, your emotions, your habits. Because once you master those, everything else falls into place. And then one day you'll realize you've become the man most people talk about, but few ever meet.